This is Rob with MC Yachts. This is episode 3 of my series leading up to and through the 2024 Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, which we're all so excited about. I'm going to be talking about the boat show today, talking about what I'm currently doing, which is acting as a buyer's broker, which sucks. Being a buyer's broker, I've always been opposed to it. The market is such right now that I'm kind of forced into it, but I'm dealing with two situations which really encapsulate the frustrations that a professional broker like myself can have when dealing with individual buyers as opposed to representing sellers, which is my comfort zone. So the two of them, it's what you see frequently. One is simply not getting that sellers are not by definition desperate, particularly when you're in the higher level boats. I like to use as my metric 3 levels of boats that I sell. The Buicks, BMWs, and Bentleys. Not disparaging Buicks in any way, shape, or form. There are some wonderful Buicks that get pretty expensive, and there are some inexpensive BMWs, et cetera, and Bentleys are Bentleys. But my point is that in the boat world, and when you're in the Bentley end of the boat world, just because somebody's selling the boat doesn't mean they're desperate to sell the boat. A realistic seller who has priced his boat right, when a buyer comes in consistently at 30, 40+% below the ask, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's not happening. A transaction requires a willing buyer and a willing seller. And, I've clearly failed in this situation to get the value across to my customer. And it's very frustrating because we've seen some great boats that are priced fairly and are available below the ask price. But when you come in at 40% below an already revised ask price, and I don't want to say you're going to offend somebody because it's business, but you're going to offend somebody. So there's that. And then I have my other customer I talked a little bit about yesterday, and setting expectations and the benefit of staying within yourself, etc. Unfortunately, because he is a just retired, very successful businessman who is accustomed to controlling everything in his life, he has taken this process personally. And gone out directly to manufacturers, and to boat shows. And while I, was not able to and unwilling to geographically accompany him on these things, I did ask him to please make sure that he advised these people that he was working with a broker, and the broker was ultimately going to be involved in the transaction, and to convince him that his best route was not buying a new boat, but buying a gently and lovingly used boat, particularly since this was probably going to be a 2-year boat, just like his first boat. And then his next boat may be his forever boat, if such a thing exists. But what he's succeeded in doing is I don't want to say poisoning the market, but creating a situation where the people he's been dealing with are not expecting to have to deal with me, and when confronted with that, are unhappy about it and causing problems. And at the end of the day, as good as he and most of my customers are, successful business people, super successful business people, super smart, and frankly, what I do is not brain surgery. Anybody can learn how to do it, but it takes time, it takes experience, it takes training, and I have all of those things. And they are valuable in this process. So again, I have these two clients. I don't want to fire them. I love them both. They're great guys. They're smart. They're going to buy boats. But by the same token, my the majority of my compensation comes from commissions, and the time that it takes to go and see boats and talk to sellers and sellers brokers and visit the boats and negotiations. If there's an end in sight, absolutely. But sometimes you just have to say, I can't help you at this point, which is incredibly frustrating. And again, I don't want to be there, but I don't really want to be a buyer's broker at all if I don't have to. So let's say, as a given, right now I have to. I take this as my failure. I have not communicated as efficiently and effectively as I should. I will continue to battle because I'm not really firing anybody because that's bullshit. Life is too short, and quality customers are too hard to come by. So I will figure out a way, but I am just expressing my frustrations, which are part of the game. In any case, that is today's rant, and I hope you found it interesting and useful. And please, again, I love the comments that I've been getting and the feedback, and anything that you'd like to discuss, let me know. Thanks. See you tomorrow.